Tonight's movie is, I believe it's pronounced Aniara? Aniara? Like annihilation? I love that movie. It is a Swedish-Danish production. It's got two directors. I suppose one for the Swedish side, one for the Danish side. And I'll go ahead and read you the little synopsis here on IMDb. A spaceship carrying settlers to Mars is knocked off course, causing the consumption-obsessed passengers to consider their place in the universe. Now see, that makes it sound existential too, which is also my favorite kind of science fiction, speculative fiction, anything like that. Quasi-experimental, quasi-art house, just riding the line, just hitting that sweet spot of being weird and actually entertaining too. Yeah, let's, it seemed really interesting, and it's right up my alley, so let's I'm gonna shut up and we'll play the movie. How about that? Once you get off my fucking back. It's a Magnet release. It's gotta at least be somewhat entertaining, right? Magnet, they were the guys that released the movie about the tire that killed people. But it wasn't really about that. It was actually a pretentious art film. And I totally hated it. Rubber. That's what I'm thinking of. I just wanted a movie about a killer tire. I didn't want him to try to make it smart. That's stupid. Why would you do that? We're getting all our credits right in the beginning, huh? Me neither. No, Earth was a nice place, but we fucked it up. Taking a lift to a circuit board or something, huh? They're about to board the graphics card that made this movie. How did he pronounce it? Aniara? It's like a geometrical construction of Amtrak trains. Interesting art style. Oh, wait, let's go to the Nudgesplatsit. It looks like a lot of fun. Dude, look at it. I want to buy stock in the company that makes these things. Wow, the entire interior was made by IKEA. Comes with your own oversized smartphone. Ah, it's like a soothing, burning, oozing, open boil. I thought she was urinating for a split second, I swear. Oh, I immediately know what this is. She just, like, entered some kind of cyberspace virtual reality thing. It was either through, like, some kind of hypnosis by the big smartphone on her ceiling or wherever she's supposed to be looking. It's immediately transported her into some kind of, I don't know, The Sims or something. Wow, it's real food, not like the bug powder we eat today.
Vi är ett toppmodernt transportsätt som kommer att ta dig hela vägen ifrån helt naturligt, och den kommer ifrån våra omfattande alger.
Massive. God, it's built like a mall.
Hej!
Hej. Ett helt liv i tjänsten så måste jag dela hytt. Så astronomer behandlas.
Men istället så kan jag få min egen garderob.
Men för de gärna smälta ner i asfalten allihop.
Nej, jag skojade bara.
Gjorde inte jag.
This is the lady from the video, right? She seems like a really pleasant person.
Du snarkar inte, hoppas jag.
Nej, eller jo.
Jaha, det får jag bli tvungen att omplacera mig på tillbakaväg. Satan!
Oh, it's going by hour. You can assume something bad is going to happen in a very short amount of time. Look at that, dude. I got that in my PC right now, and it's lined with LED lights. So interesting, isn't it? Like when you look at a circuit board from a macro point of view, it could resemble a map of some sort. It's so interesting how we macro, micro the same sort of structures.
Mima uppfanns ursprungligen för de första väldigt förenklat så förflyttar hon oss. Ja, då tycker jag... Kom!
Okay. I think Mima is the big cell phone that transports everybody to the raspberry forest, which is a totally Swedish way of looking at, like, utopia. What if it's a forest and it's full of raspberries? I can't do a Swedish accent. The closest I get is Swedish Chef. What if we went to a beautiful forest and it's nothing but raspberries? Yeah. Alright, that's close. She checking her for scabies? Oh no, that's a lake. Never mind. She taking hallucination selfies? What the fuck? Yeah, it's, yeah. These are very obvious ideas that you would think up conceptualizing a dystopian future of some sort. There's going to be some kind of, internet, like a human database that everybody links into, right? And it just so happens to look like a raspberry forest.
In bilderna är det omöjligt att känna av det.
Uh-oh. Got a hard drive failure. Gee! A lot of people with burns on their face. Wonder what that's all about. I think that's real, dude. Either that or it's extremely good makeup.
Inleder återställning av kurs.
It's like what happens when you drop your phone. Oh, that's nice. They've got little foam halos for people to, it's so they don't asphyxiate on their own puke as they're lying face down in it. You know, it's got proper ventilation spacers. For... Sorry.
Kärnbränslet utskjutet. Bra. Isagad kurs.
So they've been knocked off course.
Vi har haft en incident och jag förstår er oro. Jag ska gå rakt på sak.
We're fucked.
Vi har tvingats till en nödgir. Räddade livet på oss. Dessvärre träffades vår reaktor med sig i kraftverket. Vi hade inget annat val än att skjuta ut allt bränsle.
Yeah, so they're just drifting now.
Tyvärr innebär detta att vi inte längre kan styra Aniara. Vi har hamnat ur kurs och kan inte vända tillbaka.
Men kan vara lugna. När vi passerar en tillräckligt stor himlakropp så kommer vi med hjälp av gravitationen.
When do you think that'll be?
Hur lång tid det kan bli frågan om kan
Oh God, no.
Men jag vill att ni gör er beredda på att det kan röra sig om ett...
Dude, something like this. Now we're getting to the heart of stuff that like really bothers me. I know I say I'm not ever scared of movies, and I'm not, but there are certain things that really wig me out. And a lot of them have to do with like, me being transported on some sort of man-made contraption and being at the mercy of the officials who are all taking a bunch of pills and drinking a bunch of alcohol while they're supposedly piloting this giant GPU floating in space filled with people. Because I just expect everything to go wrong. I don't like roller coasters. I don't like getting on vehicles. Bicycles, okay. Because I built a bicycle. Bicycles are simple to understand. But I don't even trust being in a car.
3 veckor.
Ja, det blir ju tyvärr inte så.
Jag lovade min son att jag skulle vara med på hans...
And his 5th birthday.
Tills dess behöver vi samarbeta.
I can already tell you, too, the way that they're framing this guy in such a, like, politician-looking kind of a way. The captain has become the default president now. If it was only supposed to be 3 weeks... Wait... She's like really upset she's gonna miss her kid's birthday, huh?
Så att vi börjar med att ta en nattmacka allihopa. Macka, som sagt, night toast from the captain.
Wouldn't, like, the immediate thing to think about is conserving food? Like, that's thing 1 that you think about. I was just about to say, hey, if it was only supposed to be 2 weeks, and he's projecting 2 years, what do you think's gonna happen to the food? Hey. I haven't said this in a while, so I think I can say it now. Do you think this movie has cannibalism in it? That'd be pretty cool.
Hur mår du?
Bra.
Oj, det var en fin förträngning.
Så när ni väl är inne i bilderna så är det omöjligt att känna av den. Och det är därför som ni ska ligga. Ni spenderar timmar här inne.
Interesting. Something about the architecture too, and the way the movie's filmed. It's really good. It really does kind of remind me of 2001. All right.
Har du någon aning om vilken himlakropp vi kommer... Vad sa du?
Nej, jag sa ingenting. Därför att jag anar.
So the astronomer here is telling us there ain't nothing out there.
Svaret är ingen.
Va?
Måste piloterna kunnat räkna det för länge sedan.
I'd be freaking out, dude. Just imagine how bad a situation could get like this. You ever heard of the Northwest Passage? It would be like that in space. I don't know if this movie will go exactly in that kind of direction, but... It's not a panic attack, that's terror. So great. See, I don't see how looking at that image, boiling hot popcorn oil, it definitely doesn't soothe me. The blue light would be better, wouldn't it? Second time they've given us a scene of food. That's going to become an issue very soon.
Att han ska följa med mig och då lovar jag att han... Jag tror att det kommer sent. Jag tror att det är härligt där. Det är inte det. Kallt. Och ingenting växer, det är bara en liten köldtulpan, så här lite.
Leave it to the Swedish to plant a tulip on Mars. You think they have a brig that they can put people in whenever they all inevitably start to go mad? You know what? This movie is like making a lot of promise. I might be assuming a lot of them, right? But the potential for a setup like this is so great.
No.
It's such a great way of displaying what they do in order to go into this cyber world too. It's literally portraying people as ostriches. Oh, what would have even been greater is if they just like made these like in-ground toilet looking things. It's just this porcelain bowl that you stick your head in and it fills up with a strange soothing yellow liquid. It's a Swedish thing, isn't it? It's like, that's what you do when you get a massage. You lay in one of those stupid face things. I guess, I don't know. I never let anybody touch me. I don't know what that feels like.
Passagerarna har inte vet att alger så ska vi gå ut med hur vi ligger till. Faktum är att
They're gonna run out of oxygen?
bygga på innan planet.
Oh, no, he's saying the opposite. Oh, okay, we're totally going with an angle where the captain is gonna be, like, really full of himself. And pictures himself like a new Moses. You know, he's gonna take us into the future to... You get it. Year 3. We've jumped ahead. What's the Jurg? Habitational name for any of various places called Bergen? Dutch? Land worker? Oh no. Future Euro line dancing. First of all, that's a brilliant observation, sir. I think this is to set up a really nice juxtaposition, because whenever things really start going bad, they're well-ordered, flashy, polished, manicured way of living out the window completely. Is she wearing a goose? What the hell is that? What? Wow, what great relationships these people are forming amongst themselves. Why the hell would you even bother with regular old sex whenever you could live in the fantasy virtual world? So he basically believes that with the algae, they can keep themselves sustained. But the filtration isn't working correctly. Yeah, this is bad, dude. They're gonna run out of air, let alone food. Child labor. I guess it's just that one particular girl's ass that she's particularly obsessed with.
Det är som att hon inte hade några känslor.
Du förstår att piloterna är med såna. De är experter på att trycka undan sina känslor.
Isabel trycker undan sina känslor.
Den stora löjligheten i att leva.
I like the astronomer. Astronomer.
Det är så litet, det är så betydelselöst.
This is stuff I say to myself every day.
Så är det precis som om vi står alldeles still. Här har du oss, en liten blåsa i Godsanders glas.
It's a really great looking raspberry forest though, huh? I can't honestly say that if I wasn't in their predicament, I wouldn't be doing the same thing. I'd want to do it privately though, you know? I don't want to be laying on the floor with a bunch of other people. Like, throw me in a basement. Not even cyberspace can save them from just total ecological disaster, huh? Yes, just the Scandinavians and no one else. The whole rest of the world is neutral on nipples. I live alone, I'll die alone. That's how it goes. I don't even get a Scandinavian, Danish, raspberry nipple cyber fantasy to live in. The best I got is Elden Ring DLC. Wait, who's saying this? Is she hallucinating the big cell phone to... What the fuck? It's the machine itself speaking. It's fucking sentient. It's gonna turn into Am. They're hurtling through the purple forest of burning hair. Not Tor Johnson. Ugh. Yeah, you don't want to catch that, whatever it is. We're all in line for hugs?
Sätt dig ner! Varför slänger du ut folk ur mimasal?
Alltså hon ser ju allt som alla varit
Jag
med.
vet hur mima fungerar.
Ja, fast folk börjar vilja se väldigt... Jag kommer behöva stängt en månad.
Det där låter väldigt förhastat.
Their virtual hive mind needs therapy. Wow. It's being traumatized by taking in everybody else's baggage. The machine is just coming to the inevitable conclusion that humans are bad. She's crying like her best friend just died. You ever seen a cell phone blow up? It's exactly like this. Yeah, that can't be good to breathe in, dude. It lets me smell 5G. That just sounds like you're asking for nose cancer.
Jag tror inte jag någonsin sett dig så här upprörd. Det är fint att se att du har ett litet hjärta som bultar inne.
Wow. Well, you know, shouldn't put your hands on people. The whole situation is something that clearly they have made no contingency plan for. Who would ever think that our spaceship would have a breached hull? That never happens. Losing a power supply, inconceivable. Ugh. This would be a good setting for like a liminal spaces type horror game. How are you supposed to know which pod is yours? She's walking around like she's on cough syrup or something. Oh, he was beating her up. The pilot. Damn. Well, it's only taken 3 years to just completely descend into tyranny. The enormity of that ship. It really is like just a big lengthwise section of city floating out in space. Year 4. That's when the cults come. Alright, now we're getting into it here. Captain's working on a Jesus beard.
Hur många självmord är vi uppe i?
48.
Du med! Följ med mig!
4 years and here we are. And I thought the Swedish were supposed to be so civilized. And look what they do inside of 4 years.
Alger, avrostning. Du får själv välja om det här vill vara kvar där nere.
Ta det bara. Kom igen. Isak, snälla.
Sticken för dig igen. Och Emma, du ska bli lärare.
Huh, socialism, am I right? Don't, we're being watched by the vast coldness of space. Kinda like the song. Alright. Now it's starting to look more like it. What? Oh, the cult! I totally forgot about the cult for a second. Cool, they got Lucio Fulci ghost girl eyes. I wonder how that happened.
Helgon förklarar Mima. Vi ska bilda en kör i hennes grav.
Canonize. Do they mean like consecrate? Oh, in the classic Roman Catholic way, to declare a person to be a saint.
Hon dog av sorg.
Feels like a cult. I mean, they got candles on the floor. Now Bjork just comes levitating down from the ceiling to lead them all in prayer. Oh yeah, well, with any cult, you gotta get naked, right? This doesn't seem like any kind of Catholicism I've ever experienced. I would have converted. Oh my god, what do they do to his penis? It doesn't feel so much like a procession of mourning, but it does feel very Swedish. So like, is it like if they fill each other with enough cum, they can pretend that they're all connected? Is that what it's all about? Because this just feels like the disco era all over again. Okay. I tell you what it is. It is the extreme decadence you find at the end of the world, where things are really starting to fall apart and people need more and more sensory experiences to actually convince themselves that they're still alive and feeling. I think really this is what it's boiling down to. What awful music too. Ugh, not too romantic, was it? Oh, well, Chibo's into it. It's an orgy brought to you by IKEA. It just wasn't doing a lot for me, dude. You like that, really? I found nothing sexy about that. Kind of awkward, more than anything. Depression orgy. Yeah, a little depressive, yeah. Like, it was really this, like, uncomfortable sense of desperation that was driving that whole thing to me. The calculation. Somebody actually did some math to figure out how screwed they are. Finally. It only took them 5 years. Hello, purple wife. I've returned in my purple coat to our purple room. Now you're getting it. You're just now figuring that out? How irresponsible, dude. God, I hate people so much. This is another reason why I would not want to be in a situation like this. You would think everybody would want to immediately fall in line to worry about conserving food and water and figuring out how they could possibly, I don't know, maybe repair what they got or create some other sort of alternative propulsion system to right themselves back on some kind of course for something like that. No, instead they're just gonna make more of each other. Let's replicate this Swedish depression forever, into eternity. Ugh. Leave me back on Earth. Who impregned her? Who do you think? It could be like any one of 7 dudes, I would say. Their AI utopia committed suicide. That's so fucking great. Yeah, it blew itself up because it didn't want to deal with our bullshit anymore. Ew. I hope the stuff that she's drinking didn't come out of her a few minutes before.
Jag vill bygga en strålskärm utanför fönstren så att vi slipper mörkret.
Du ska bygga substitut. Substitut.
I really like the astronomer. I don't want to speculate what that is, Waldar, because it looked like fermented jizz.
Det gäller en strålskärm som jag skulle vilja bygga.
Istället för att undervisa dem nu.
Ja, den ska visa bilder lite som mima och så att vi avskärmas från...
Vi måste tänka på de som kommer efter oss.
Absolut.
Jag antar att du är angelägen om.
Jätte, och det är därför.
De du undervisar, varenda liten skitunge, är de bästa vi har. Förstår du?
Jo.
Wouldn't that be you? Shouldn't it be your first responsibility to try to think of a way to save yourselves instead of leaving it to the next generation? Okay, the allegory here is just way, way, way too on the nose. All right, calling it now. The pilot is going to have some massive postpartum, and some horrible, awful thing is going to happen to the child. Because why not, right? Just love the look of it. Oh, we're just going to see a child drowning, aren't we? Yep.
Hello, Isagel.
Like, I could just tell the way she was looking at him when he was born that she wanted to kill him. The cult seems to have dissipated too, hasn't it? They're not all dressed weird and acting weird. It went the opposite direction that I guessed it was gonna go. And they kind of just, like, went back to dressing normal. You know what? That orgy was so awkward that everybody was just like, this isn't a good idea. Let's promise to never do this again.
Det är spektralsignatur.
Den är inte tillräckligt stor för att vara en bärgningsgång.
Av höghastighetssond.
Med bränsle.
Är den tillräckligt stor för att innehålla reaktorstavar?
Det är den.
This is not going to work out and they're all doomed. But it's nice that they introduced this here. At least they're looking for something, you know? Or the astronomer who was drunk on prune juice? What did you call that? Pruno? I don't know what pruno is. I assume that's some kind of prune drink. Either that or it's pureed guys named Bruno.
Det är med glädje jag kan meddela att hjälp äntligen är på väg. En nödsond med bränsle närmar sig oss. Kan vi starta upp motorerna och vända hem? Ikväll har vi all anledning att fira.
What a bunch of idiots! God, this movie is really reminding me why I hate human beings so much. We're such a stupid animal. Year 6, here we go. The spear. In other words, that thing that's hurtling towards them that they think is going to save them is actually going to bisect the ship in half. That's gonna be awesome. Prison wine shit. Yeah, you know, it's like hooch made from rotting algae or something. Who knows? Whoa, they got LED grappling hooks. Oh.
Vad fan sysslar ni med? Vi avbryter simulering. Sonderna just krossats. Är alla döda. Gud bevare.
Så kommer det gå.
Och ni ska vara de bästa vi har.
Yeah, try for a higher score next time.
7.
What the hell? What the hell? What was that? It's just some space anomaly. It looks like my fucking Wacom tablet pen. It's a bomb or something, dude. Yeah, it's munitions of some sort. How's my planetary defense mechanism this evening? It's shriveled and hanging slightly to the left. Thanks for asking. Smart idea, immediately try to break it open.
Spektralanalyserna, optisk stäm har gett svar på.
Mätteknik kanske lite.
Sir, aren't you only 13 years old?
Så vi har inte uteslutit att den kan innehålla bränsle.
Absolut inte. Förmodligen är det själva materialet, även om jag inte vet exakt hur.
Wow.
Men vi kommer hitta en lösning.
That kid is dead, I'm telling you. You know what I like about them, though? They seem like they'd be like a real couple. It's very naturalistic. Much of the acting is. I really like this movie so far. I don't know about you guys, but I think it's great. It could still be a massive letdown in some way, but so far everything leading up has been fantastic.
Därför att vi ska upp och jobba om några timmar. Det är viktigt.
Det är bara ett satans slöseri med tid. Du, tror du på söndagen?
Yikes.
Ett mirakel. Om vi bara kunde få ut lite uppgifter.
Så du att det var ett mirakel? Vet inte du att underverk och slump, det är slump utan mening? Ja, men
Slå mig då! Backa allihopa! Well, that's not good.
Pris för din upptäckt ikväll på informationsträffen.
Nu ska du inte sprida någon oro. Hör upp! Och innan vi vet något med säkerhet, det sista vi vill är att folk ska sluta hoppas.
Säga att allting går enligt planen.
What are you gonna do? Tell them that we got turned around miraculously? Lying to the public and they all agree.
Likkista.
I'm with you, lady.
Den tonen.
Jag tolererar inte något jävla hyckleri.
Sprida med rykten den här gången.
He's growing a very nice Captain Ahab beard, by the way. I approve of it. Throw her in the algae fermenter. Oh no, she did. See, that's another thing I don't agree with. Why would you jettison bodies? They're a perfectly valid resource. I mean, they're talking about burning the space probe for fuel. They totally killed her. Well, the captain did, specifically. You couldn't get a good look at, like, what weapon it was he had. It was like a weird green box-looking thing. It looked like a taser to me. Chibo, I just picture you, like, being in a big court tribunal and addressing the judge with that line. Just give me her lifeless body. I'll fucking eat it. Did you see her in those pantyhose? I don't think she'd be all that fresh. I'm just saying you could use her for kindling or something, you know? A fungus farm. Something. The hell is that? Looks like an acid tab. Oh, this is the commune with the dead pill.
Det här är vårt straff. Jag lever min egen begravning.
Skriker för att gå härifrån.
Jag ska vidare.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to hang out there either. Ugh, just spending your final years trapped in a dance club. No, no! I don't want to die in a Swedish dance club. No! What do you suppose the purple space gas is? Cosmic storm? We're passing through the glitter belt. Everyone remain calm. Wow. Dude, do you think they just, like, time traveled or something? Hyperspace? What was that?
Hon kallar på mig. Hon ropar på mig, men...
Mima? Is that who? Wow, look at all the dead people. Like, you didn't see... It wasn't like the Poseidon adventure or something where the whole ship flips over or anything like that. I'm surprised they have so many casualties. It's crazy how they never cleaned that room either. Go play amongst the ashes of the cell phone.
Nej, 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 nej! Den där får du inte leka med. Åh, du blir så arg nu.
All right, shoot him out into space. I mean, put him in a timeout, whatever. Get him out of here. It's also weird how some people got hurt and others didn't, because she was sitting in the windowsill whenever it happened. They didn't act like it was a big deal at all.
Vad är det?
Du är så duktig. Jag älskar att de går uppåt. Det är som att du inte kan vara ledsen.
So far, it looks like most of what the ship is running on is algae, although that could just be what powers their food source and oxygen. They did say that they lost a reactor. I'm just wondering, like, what's keeping the lights on exactly? They might have mentioned that and I missed it. Oh, it's just like a nice wallpaper projector. Maybe it would boost morale for about 15 minutes. Wow. So sad. What if somebody hacks it and does a big massive fappening? Oh no. I love that she called her an asshole in that moment too. The baby did it. Oh no. Nope. Almost brings a tear to my eye, man. The last thing that they spoke about before, before what happened, she admired her positivity, her eternal optimism, and she was, like, relying on them to keep, like, she was maintaining that, I think, for the sake of her family. Just that moment itself expressed so much of just, I don't know, it felt real. Yeah.
Vi är pionjärer som seglat längre ut i rymdhavet.
When are they gonna mutiny?
Får jag be dig, MR, komma upp och...
Wow.
MR tilldelas Aniaras hedersmedalj.
För sin strålskärm som hjälpt oss alla.
The weak applause is what's so great. Doesn't look healthy, does it? It's like they've all been drinking pond scum. Whoa! The sarcophagus, which is what the astronomer called the whole damn ship. 24 years. No lights.
Såg jag ljuset med min hud. Visionen brände mig.
They've all got glaucoma now.
Av en gud. Ge oss ljus. Ge oss ljus.
Is that her? She looks pretty good for 24 years. Whoa! Wow. Man, looks like they just sort of hung around and turned into piles. We don't get to see... this is what, Earth again, right? Shh. Really? This is... Okay. It may be some other Earth-like planet, but doesn't it just look like Earth? Okay, I was gonna say, we didn't get some big bombastic ending that was super violent or anything, but I still say that that's pretty satisfying. We can assume that most likely everybody, the people who were left, just sort of asphyxiated. It seemed to me more and more like just everything just sort of slowed to a stop. The Lyra constellation. So I don't know anything about constellations, but I'm guessing this is telling us that it's just an Earth-like planet that it's made its way to. In Greek mythology, Lyra represents the lyre of Orpheus. Orpheus's music was said to be so great that even inanimate objects such as rocks could be charmed. That's interesting because Mima said that it wept for the rocks or something, right? It was the stones. As far as a bombastic ending, it set the table for like a lot of really disastrous things to happen. And it was really low key on how it ended up. I mentioned the Northwest Passage earlier, you know, like that's the type of stuff I was really expecting to see. And it kind of had that a little bit, but it was like way more subdued, personal. You know, it instead of showing you these massive calamitous events, it stuck more with like the characters. And I really liked our protagonist. Emily Garbers is the actress. She plays MR. We've been uncomfy during these movies a lot. Well, I didn't cry or anything. Actually, I got close to it, but that wasn't out of discomfort. That was out of sympathy. I was feeling sad for her character. The screaming, the way that she was screaming upon discovering that her family was all dead, you know, it just felt really real to me. Really great performance. Nice story. It's the type of thing that I would think somebody expecting a big crazy ending, this could be disappointing, and I have had those experiences before. I think the way that they did it here was so in line with the kind of understated tone that they were going for the whole movie that it just kind of fit. We got hints that the captain was a tyrant, and we saw a little bit of it, but he didn't go like full Hitler. Nobody went full Captain Ahab, you know. The cult didn't go crazy. It just kind of lasted for a year or two, just long enough to have that one really awkward orgy. I don't know, man. Geez, I think I would rate this. I won't go 5 because that schlock-loving part of me. I don't rate things out of 10. That's too many numbers. I got to use 5. I was going to say, I won't go a 5 out of 5. There's too much of the schlock lover in me that kind of wishes we saw some crazy cannibalizing space cult kind of stuff. Real space madness, but it didn't go quite there. I'll give it a 4.8. Cinematography was fantastic. I loved the way the setting looked. Jerm Swede sympathizer confirmed. No, it's the Swedishness of it that keeps me from giving it a 5. They were too reserved and Swedish and depressive for me to, like, really enjoy it. I want the big, crazy cannibal mall scene. That's what I want. Anyway, so humanity's cell phone exploded, and then we were all left on the big GPU in space. Look at this. All of the tech seemed really, really fitting. The whole ship is very Silicon Valley. Have I said that enough? That and IKEA. Did they ever figure out what the probe was? No, not at all. Not at all. And you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that because that's something I'm conflicted on too. The astronomy lady, she verbalized it pretty perfectly by just comparing it to nothing. Her nihilistic attitude towards it was basically what the whole thing was just supposed to represent. Something that we're never going to figure out, false hope, the end of the line. It was just a big metaphor. It would have been nice, though, if they gave us something a little more concrete. Like, I'm thinking again of the monolith in 2001: A Space Odyssey, right? It doesn't straight up tell you what the monolith is or what it does. If you read the story, it's way more explicit. The Arthur C. Clarke short story, way more explicit. But in the movie, they give you just enough to figure out, okay, that's what it is. But in the context of this movie, I think it's purely metaphorical. We're not supposed to ever figure out what the probe is. The probe did its job, which was to give people a bunch of false hope. So the ending was just that much more depressing and Swedish. And again, I'm borderline on it. In all seriousness, I think this movie's great. That's a whole novel thing too. I love how their AI hive mind utopia world that they've created decides to kill itself. It's such a pessimistic, fatalistic kind of a real downer of a dystopian science fiction movie, you know? Not as much horror as I was expecting or like, but still very good. Very good. The music could have been better. Way too much Swedish club music. Oh, you know what? Now that I think about it, I gotta knock another. It's a 4.4 out of 5 for the awful club music. And that orgy scene. 4.2. God. No, you know what? For what it was an effective orgy scene. I've never seen an orgy scene like that. So depressing. Okay. It's back up to a 4.8 again. All right. 4.8, that's my final rating.
It's